Greetings! Before I tell this story, I would ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stories like this. And now we begin our story.
Shadows behind the smile. Evangeline Moore sat motionless in the dim light of her living room, the creased photograph burning in her hands like a symbol of everything she had lost. The discovery had come like a tempest, unraveling the fabric of her life thread by delicate thread. Thaddeus Grant, her husband for over 10 years, whose smile once meant safety and love, had been hiding a relationship with Celestine Harper, a woman from his high school days, for the span of 3 years. Celestine, whose name now tasted bitter on Evangeline's tongue, was not just any acquaintance but a lingering shadow stalking the corners of their family's shattered happiness. The betrayal stung deeper when Evangeline recalled their children, two radiant souls who had no idea the silent war raging just beyond their innocent laughter. At first, shock immobilized her. The countless nights spent nurturing her family now felt like memories skewed by deceit. Thaddeus's lies had created an invisible chasm that widened with every secret text, every stolen meeting. The dual life he led gnawed at Evangeline's sense of reality, shaking the very foundation of trust she had built her marriage on. Yet, beneath the layers of heartbreak, a small ember of resolve flickered. If this was the path fate had cruelly set before her, she had to face it, not only for herself, but for the children who depended on her strength. The morning sunlight, once warm and inviting, now cast cold shadows across her thoughts, urging her to confront what lay ahead. Her mind wandered to Lucian Wells, an old friend and mentor who had always been a source of unwavering wisdom. His words echoed softly in her memory. Life rarely gives us the closure we expect, Evangeline. Healing comes from confronting darkness, not fleeing it. Encouraged by his advice, she reached out in silence, finding solace in his calm voice and steady demeanor. Lucian's support was a lighthouse amid a storm, guiding her as she pieced together the shreds of her fractured identity. He reminded her that strength was forged in moments of vulnerability, and that embracing pain was a step toward reclaiming her life. The thought of confiding in someone who understood the complexities of betrayal brought a subtle comfort she wasn't yet ready to name. Yet loneliness pressed down with relentless weight, and it was Isolde Bennett who stepped into the abyss alongside her. Isolde, a friend whose loyalty knew no bounds, became Evangeline's anchor. Together they navigated the treacherous waters of shattered trust and fear for the future. Isolde's empathy, paired with her fierce determination, helped Evangeline reclaim fragments of happiness with every conversation. They shared tears and stubborn laughter, breaking the silence that threatened to consume Evangeline's spirit. Through Isolde's eyes, she glimpsed a new version of herself, capable of facing the world alone, but also open to unexpected paths. Isolde's presence was a reminder that even in devastation, human connection could ignite hope. The complicated web of emotions was further tangled by Martellus Voss, a newcomer who entered Evangeline's life with the gentle persistence of spring sunlight. Martellus was unlike anyone she had met since the world had unraveled. His calm confidence and genuine curiosity stirred feelings she had long buried. He did not rush her or demand explanations, but offered friendship and the possibility of something real. Through his kindness, Evangeline began to question the rigid walls she had built around her heart. Could she trust again? Was love possible after such profound betrayal? Martellus's patient presence planted seeds of possibility that whispered of a future where happiness was not just a memory, but a destination. Meanwhile, in the background lurked Thaddeus, a man increasingly reluctant to face the consequences of his actions. His encounters with Celestine revealed complexities beyond mere infidelity, unresolved pasts, desires unspoken, and perhaps a desperate search for meaning beyond his fractured marriage. But Evangeline, growing stronger with each passing day, no longer saw him through the lens of bitterness alone. She understood that their shared past was a mosaic of pain, mistakes, and lessons yet to be learned. The calm rationality imparted by Dorian Clark, a trusted colleague and astute advisor, helped her navigate legal and emotional labyrinths with clarity. With his guidance, Evangeline prepared to protect her children's future while forging her own path toward independence. The pain of betrayal was balanced by moments of self-discovery. Evangeline's nights became a crucible where sorrow mixed with hope, forging resilience. She took long walks beneath the stars, allowing herself to grieve, to rage, and then to breathe again. Each step away from her old life was both agony and liberation. She documented her journey in journals, pouring out raw emotions that no one else might read, but that healed her nonetheless. Her children became the bright constants in a shifting world, their laughter a balm that reminded her of life's enduring magic. The tangled shadows behind the smile she once wore were slowly replaced by a quiet strength that promised renewal. Though the road ahead was uncertain and fraught with challenges, Evangeline knew one truth with unwavering certainty: she would not let the past define her. With the unwavering support of Isolde, the steady guidance of Lucian, the pragmatic advice of Dorian, and the tender presence of Marcellus, her steps toward a new life gained momentum. Trust would take time to rebuild, and healing was a journey, not a destination. But in this unfolding story of heartache and hope, Evangeline found the courage to believe in herself again and to open a door she had long kept shut. The shadows behind the smile were shedding, revealing the first light of a future yet to be written. As dawn broke on another day, the fragments of her old life and the promise of what could be intertwined, like the threads of a new tapestry. Somewhere beyond the pain lay redemption, joy, and unexpected love. Evangeline stood at the cusp of transformation, ready to step forward with a heart both resilient and tender, knowing the next chapter would demand courage and grace, the very qualities she was beginning to reclaim now. Rebuilding trust and self, Evangeline stood on the threshold of a new existence, the echoes of betrayal still ringing in her ears, yet mingled with a fragile hope. For 3 years, her husband Thaddeus had nurtured a secret liaison with Celestine, his former classmate, while Evangeline devoted herself to their 2 children and the domestic world they once shared. The revelation shattered the foundation of her life, but the rubble beneath her feet was fertile ground for renewal. With resolute heart, she embraced the uncertainty of solitude and the challenge of trust that lay ahead. Support came swiftly in the form of Isolde Bennett, a steadfast friend whose counsel was both gentle and fortifying. Isolde's own stories of hardship and resilience resonated deeply, reminding Evangeline that pain could be a bridge rather than a barrier. Their conversations, often held in the quiet corners of bustling cafes, became a sanctuary where Evangeline could shed shame and gather strength. Isolde's encouragement nurtured the seeds of self-belief, coaxing her out from the shadows of deception toward the light of self-discovery. Parallel to this emotional renaissance was Evangeline's reunion with Lucian Wells, an old friend of remarkable wisdom and calm. Lucian, with his reflective outlook on life, helped her navigate the intricacies of broken trust. His philosophy, that healing required both acceptance and courage, became a guiding beacon. Through long walks and late-night talks, he imparted lessons not only on forgiveness, but on the necessity of reclaiming autonomy. Under his mentorship, Evangeline began to understand that trust, once fractured, must be rebuilt not only toward others, but primarily within oneself. Balancing the complex demands of single motherhood with her own evolving identity was a daunting endeavor. The innocence of her children was a gentle reminder of the stakes involved, yet also a beacon of unconditional love that anchored her through turbulent emotions. Raising them alone was a journey peppered with exhaustion and moments of doubt, but also profound joy and discovery. This new role stretched her resilience and ingenuity, compelling her to redefine family on her own terms and to instill lessons of honesty and strength in her children's lives. Amidst these personal transformations, Evangeline encountered Dorian Clark, a colleague whose pragmatic insight and empathetic nature contributed a different kind of support. Dorian offered perspectives on navigating professional challenges that intersected with her renewed personal life. His steady presence helped Evangeline regain confidence in her career, which had become a vital pillar in her reconstruction of self. Together they explored strategies that balanced ambition with the emotional demands of her domestic upheaval. further enriching Evangeline's journey toward wholeness. The most unexpected chapter of renewal unfolded with Marcellus Voss, a new acquaintance whose charm was matched by an authenticity that Evangeline had long feared lost. Their burgeoning connection stirred a mixture of excitement and hesitation within her heart. Marcellus's respectful patience and genuine interest provided a safe space to tentatively explore intimacy anew. His presence encouraged Evangeline to confront the lingering fears born of betrayal and to gradually open herself to the possibility that trust and love could be reclaimed rather than abandoned. Throughout this process, the dichotomy of pain and possibility wove through Evangeline's days. Each step forward demanded confronting fears that had once seemed insurmountable: fear of abandonment, of vulnerability, of history repeating itself. Yet with every honest conversation, every shared laugh, and every quiet reflection, she rekindled a sense of empowerment. She learned that rebuilding trust was not a linear path, but a mosaic of moments, each piece essential in creating a picture of a future she could embrace without bitterness or fear. Evangeline's story reveals the intricate dance between despair and hope, between loss and renewal. She discovered that while the wounds inflicted by Thaddeus's hidden betrayal left scars, they did not define her. Instead, these scars became marks of survival and endurance. Empowered by the unwavering support of Isolde, the guidance of Lucian, and the unexpected companionship of Marcellus, she began to craft a narrative defined not by betrayal, but by courage and rebirth. Her journey through heartache also prompted a reevaluation of what it means to trust. The experience taught her to listen more keenly to her own instincts and boundaries. Evangeline recognized that trust must be earned and nurtured thoughtfully, and that the capacity to trust again required nurturing faith in herself first. This internal transformation expanded beyond relationships, influencing her worldview and how she engaged with the uncertainties of life itself. The resilience Evangeline cultivated resonated outward, inspiring those around her, including her children and friends. Her willingness to embrace vulnerability while holding firm to her values modeled a strength that transcended the pain of past betrayals. Each day became an act of defiance against despair and a celebration of newfound freedom. In this way, the fragments of her shattered life coalesced into a mosaic, rich with possibility and the promise of genuine connection. As Evangeline embraced the mosaic of her emerging life, she found herself at a crossroads where past shadows met the dawn of new experiences. The road ahead was still veiled in uncertainty, but with each step, she fortified her spirit and expanded her capacity for joy. The lessons, etched in her heart by sorrow and healing alike, became the foundation for a future where trust and love were not relics of a painful past, but living, breathing possibilities awaiting her embrace. These days of transformation also opened Evangeline's eyes to the complexities of human nature and the irony of forgiveness. She grappled with reconciling love and anger, betrayal and compassion toward Thaddeus, and acceptance of her own imperfections. This internal dialogue became a crucible in which her character was refined, no longer defined solely by victimhood, but as an architect of her destiny. Her path illuminated the delicate balance between self-protection and openness that would shape her relationships going forward. In the embrace of camaraderie and the steady rhythm of rebuilding, Evangeline's narrative intertwined with the stories of others who had faced their own trials. Through shared experiences, she gained insights that steeled her resolve and inspired hope. The bonds with Isolde, Lucian, Marcellus, and Dorian became pillars supporting her ascent from despair, each contributing unique perspectives on healing, love, and the courage to begin again. The tapestry of Evangeline's evolving life offered a testament to human resilience and the transformative power of rebuilding in the aftermath of betrayal. Her journey was a vivid reminder that endings, no matter how painful, often carry within them the seeds of new beginnings. With a heart gradually opening to trust and a spirit rekindled by connection, Evangeline prepared to step boldly into her future, ready to embrace the unknown yet confident in her strength. With each passing day, Evangeline grew more adept at balancing hope and caution, love and self-care, breaking free from the shadows that had darkened her past. Her evolving story was far from over. Indeed, the next chapter awaited, promising challenges that would test her progress even as they offered opportunities for deeper growth and fulfillment. It was in this delicate balance that she found the true meaning of rebuilding trust and self, an ongoing journey with no fixed destination, only continuous evolution. New beginnings in uncharted waters. Evangeline Moore sat by the window, the soft evening light filtering through the curtains, washing the room in a warm glow that contrasted starkly with the storm brewing inside her heart. For years, her world had revolved around two small children and the man she thought she knew, Thaddeus Grant. Yet, the revelation that he had secretly maintained a relationship with Celestine Harper, his high school sweetheart, for nearly 3 years shattered every illusion she clung to. The pain was visceral, yet beneath it bloomed something unexpectedly powerful, a yearning to reclaim her life and rediscover trust on her own terms. Each day after her decision to leave, Evangeline felt the weight of uncertainty press heavily upon her. She wrestled with moments of doubt, haunted by memories both sweet and sour. But in those shadows, a quiet resilience began to grow. Lucian Wells, her old friend and mentor, became her anchor. With his steady voice and unwavering support, Evangeline found solace. Lucian saw beyond her heartbreak and encouraged her to embrace healing, reminding her that strength often emerges from the deepest wounds. Marcellus Voss entered her life like a sudden gust of fresh air. Their connection sparked unexpectedly during a charity event organized by Isolde Bennett, Evangeline's steadfast friend. Marcellus possessed a calm confidence and a genuine warmth that disarmed the walls Evangeline had built. Yet the tangled emotions within made her hesitate. Could she allow herself to be vulnerable again? Marcellus's quiet patience and intuitive kindness kindled a fragile hope that love could be different this time, less about possession and more about mutual respect. Navigating this new emotional landscape was complex. Dorian Clark, a trusted colleague, stepped into the role of advisor with surprising sensitivity. Dorian understood the nuances of blending professional support with personal empathy. His guidance helped Evangeline articulate boundaries she needed to protect herself while remaining open to possibilities. Through conversations steeped in honesty and reflection, she began to untangle fears rooted in betrayal and mistrust. Dorian's encouragement was a beacon, urging her to step forward even when the path seemed uncertain. Her children's laughter was a constant counterpoint to the turmoil. Every smile and shared moment replenished her resolve to build a future unmarked by deception. Evangeline committed herself to creating a home filled with authenticity and love, no longer shadowed by past secrets. Isolde, ever loyal, offered not just friendship but practical wisdom as Evangeline explored new routines and reclaimed independence. The warmth of this support network fortified her spirit and kept despair at bay. As weeks turned into months, Evangeline's transformation became palpable. She rediscovered passions that had long lain dormant, pouring herself into creative pursuits that mirrored her inner renewal. With Lucian's encouragement, she began journaling, extracting lessons from pain, and envisioning paths untaken. Each written word was a step toward self-awareness, a declaration that her story was far from over. Marcellus's gentle presence became a source of joy rather than complication, inviting her to imagine love as a partnership rather than a battlefield. The process was not linear. Setbacks and doubts surfaced, challenging the fragile equilibrium she nurtured. Yet, Evangeline's growing circle, Marcellus, Lucian, Isolde, and Dorian, formed a mosaic of connection that proved vital. Their varied perspectives enriched her understanding of trust and forgiveness, teaching her that healing was neither swift nor simple. Through shared experiences, laughter, and honest conversations, she learned to embrace vulnerability as strength, redefining what it meant to love and be loved. In one particularly poignant moment, Evangeline confronted Thaddeus not with anger, but with clarity. She expressed the pain he had caused and the boundaries she now upheld, speaking with a firmness that surprised even herself. This interaction was not about blame. It was a declaration of self-worth and the refusal to be defined by betrayal. Thaddeus's silence echoed the finality of a chapter closed, allowing Evangeline to step fully into her own narrative. Looking ahead, Evangeline felt a cautious optimism kindling within. Each day offered new lessons in resilience and connection, teaching her that the past, though indelible, did not dictate her future. The bond with Marcellus deepened slowly, grounded in mutual respect and honesty. The laughter of her children, the strength of her friendships, and the wisdom she gathered illuminated a path forward, shimmering with possibility and renewal. As the horizon brightened, so did Evangeline's resolve to embrace the uncharted waters of life beyond betrayal. Change, once feared, became an invitation to grow and redefine happiness. With a heart mended yet open, she prepared to face the next chapter, guided by love learned through loss and the promise of new beginnings. And so, with courage kindled and hope blossoming, Evangeline stepped forward into the future she was ready to create.